Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Alhamdulillah, wassalatu wassalamu ala rasulillah. If there are any questions from the brothers here, we'll try to take them now. And if not, then we'll try to see what we have online. Bi'idhnillahi ta'ala. Wallahu alam.
Okay, question next week.
Naam, go ahead. Fadl.
I don't know if it can be a future program, but what a person who finishes her menses, like say, older person. This is how we have it.
Understood. Simple solution. A woman who no longer menstruates, or a woman who has no menstruation, or a woman who has a severely irregular menstruation, she makes a 3-month estimation with regards to the iddah period. As far as not speaking about the iddah period, but can you still divorce her? She has no menstruation. And in most cases, if she doesn't menstruate, then that means she does not
have babies.
ovulate. In most cases, without getting too deep into the discussion. So in most cases, if she's not menstruating, then she isn't ovulating. And if she's not ovulating, she's not having children. So that fear and that danger isn't there. And one of the wisdoms why you can't divorce a woman who's menstruating, one is the impulse, like we said, or common sense. You just slept with her last night, now you're divorcing her. It's not adding up. She's such a horrible, innocent woman, but you just on the phone with her, right? It doesn't add up. Thirdly is, it will make the iddah period longer for her. So if a man divorces his wife while she's menstruating, or while she's pure, what is she going to estimate? 3 menses, 3 months, 9 months, 8 months. Versus, I know that she isn't pregnant, so it's going to be 3 menses or 3 months. I know that she is pregnant, well, how could that? So things become sloppy and things become out of order when a man divorces his wife during those improper times. So she has no menstruation, then many of those harms are no longer even there. Wallahu alam. Abir, fadda.
Does this hadith, the first hadith, imply that the iddah is like 1 month or 2 cycles?
كيف يعني?
Because the hadith, it mentions that wait, keep her till she's clean from her menses, and then wait till she gets her next period.
This hadith is showing you the top level, the highest level, the longest period of time to wait before divorcing her. Even if a man didn't wait till the second pure state in the second mens, she's done. May 1st, I'm divorcing her. Best to divorce her on June the 1st. But let's say for argument's sake, he waited until May the 1st. That is not speaking on the actual iddah period of waiting at all. And that's nas, yani thalathata quru. Quran clearly says 3 qars. Whether the qar is tuhur or whether it's hayda. Clear? Which will be a difference in the days, a few days give or take, let alone in the nature of the iddah. Wallahu alam. Ahmed, fadl.
Can you divorce a woman during her postpartum period?
You're not to divorce a woman when she's having that natural type of blood flow, whether it's menstruation or nifas. And they're obviously the same harms the harms are still there. How long will the nifas last? She may have an irregular menstruation for a very long time after having birth. وهكذا. نعم. Wallahu alam. Don't forget, Ahmed, it's cheaper to keep her. Inshallah. Fadl.
Question from online.
Fadl.
Assalamu alaikum. AG Austin TX. Ahsanallah ilayk, Sheikh. May Allah preserve and increase your knowledge and make you from the greatest of scholars. Is it okay for to leave off studying all Islamic sciences due to focus on memorizing the Quran. I have never formally studied Aqidah or fiqh except Tahara and Salah.
Thank you very much for your kind words. Ameen to your du'as. May Allah hide our faults and make us better. I would advise you to take the course, How to Become a Serious Student of Knowledge, in which we have spoken on all of these different steps and making the jump into hyperspace or light speed, right? From normal Ami into Talib. How to make that jump, right? Taking off the training wheels. Not popping the wheelie or doing tricks, but taking off the training wheels of the bike. Well, how to make that transition. Just focus on Quran. Just focus on Arabic. Learn Aqidah first, etc. What to do. What's important is seeking knowledge is a lifelong journey. As I speak to you right now, I'm seeking knowledge, learning myself, reviewing, right? It's a lifelong journey. It doesn't happen overnight. And inshallah ta'ala, focus on that which is most important. Prioritize, right? And compartmentalize. Break things down, section things off. Wallahu alam.
SS Boston, Massachusetts. Mufti, if a husband and a wife are from different madhabs, which opinion is taken when it comes to a scenario of divorce?
Husband and wife have different madhabs. Abdullah is Hanafi. He studied in Pakistan. And Tracy is Hanbali. She's a revert to Islam from America. She came across the fatwa of Ibn Uthaymeen, so on and so forth, from Medina graduate. What do they do now? In general, the general rule is a wife has to obey her husband unless it's haram. So for argument's sake, there's difference of opinion on an issue in which neither of the two sides can decisively say yes or no. She obeys her husband. As far as if it's an issue and what she totally believes is haram, then things become a little more difficult. Last but not least, the arbitration that they have, the one who sits in front of them as if he's a qadi, his decision is going to trump both of their madhabs. Wallahu alam.
AG Austin TX. What are your most suitable times for counseling session? I have tried to book previously, but you were busy both occasions.
May Allah bless you in this world and the next. Just book the session, inshallah. And no matter what's going on in my hectic, chaotic life, if you book the session, it'll get done by Allah's permission, one way or another. In general, it could be in the morning, it could be in the afternoon, a weekday, 2 p.m., 3 p.m., 4 p.m., etc. Wallahu alam.
MA Bronx NY. How do you know what is a nisab or zakat? How do you determine that?
You determine the nisab based off of the texts. And then you convert the text into the modern world today. So the Quran and Sunnah teach us about minimum. The Quran and Sunnah teach us about agriculture, teach us about wealth, in most cases gold and silver, so on and so forth. So if the people today are no longer using gold and silver, they're not carrying around purses and pouches anymore, guineas and shillings, so on and so forth, you have to convert that to pounds, euros, dollars, pesos, rupees, so on and so forth. Yen, francs, the list goes on, right? So therefore, if you're talking about savings, the savings that you have, yearly savings, then you have to find the minimum of gold and silver in the Quran and Hadith. And then you have to translate that to the modern day standards of gold and silver with regards to cash value. So if this amount of ounces or grams or troy ounces of silver in the market today is worth such and such, that's the nisab. And if this amount of ounces, obviously the Prophet ﷺ didn't use ounces, so you're making 2 or 3 different steps of conversion. Mithqal, saw, da 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 da, grams, ounces, gold market today. And last but not least, your dollars or your euros or whatever the case may be. 5,000, 6,000, 4,000, etc. Once you have that minimum, now you start your calculation. My stack of money, my stash, my savings has reached the bare minimum. I write it down. 12 months go by, 2.5 of that. Wallahu ta'ala alam. Naam akhi. Wa alayhi salam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
In what case can a woman divorce her husband?
Question is saying, in what case can a woman divorce her husband? Here are any cases in which a woman is to divorce her husband. A woman seeking divorce, asking for it, forcing her husband's hand, one thing. But a woman pulling the trigger, pressing the red button herself, that doesn't exist in Islam. Period. Doesn't work like that. The man is the fa'il and the woman is maf'ul biha. All the time. Clear on that? Inshallah. Those who study now understand how that works. The fa'il is always the what? La shak fi dhalik. And the woman is maf'ul bihi. That's how things are. Some scholars, they even break it down to the lugha, the kasra and the fatha. And the fatha is what? Ahwa. What's important is that the woman is not, she does not divorce. She doesn't have the executive power in Islam. Clear? She can force his hand, she can try, she can do this, but she can't divorce herself unless, Allahumma, fi hala wahida, in one instance, and that is if the man makes her his agent. If he says that you can divorce yourself when you're ready, meaning he puts it in her hand. And obviously that goes back to his authority as well. If that's one case. Other than that, then la. Clear? Inshallah. Fadl.
In the case of he's abusive, and it goes
Even if he's abusive, she cannot divorce herself. If she has to run away, if she leaves the home, that's one thing. No problem. No sin in that. La yukallifullahu, right? There's no doubt about that. He's abusive. I can't stay there. I'm not staying there tonight. I had to leave. Tayyib. But that doesn't mean that she now fire. La. You got it? The divorce later on is done. Her father, her wali, he agrees. She's not coming home. I had to leave. No problem. He's no longer a Muslim. He left Islam, etc. No problem. But she doesn't sign the paper or press the button. Clear. Wallahu ta'ala. Fadl.
Z Queens and Y. What is the best way to set boundaries Islamically?
What's the initials?
ZA Queens and Y.
Fadl.
You know this guy, by the way. What is the best way to set boundaries Islamically within laws when living in the same environment?
Islamic boundaries for in-laws. Impossible. Doesn't exist. Period. If you have to make Islamic boundaries with your in-laws, then it's already over. And that's because Islam is clear. Common sense. Knocking before you enter someone's home. Asking for permission before you enter someone's home. That's clear Quranic guidance. You can't walk in on someone, your child, your son, if it's not your house. You have to knock 3 times. After you knock 3 times, you leave. You don't knock a 4th time. The Prophet ﷺ disliked when a person came to the door and said, "It's me, Ana." If those are the rules with regards to entering someone's house, common sense would tell you with regards to entering someone's marriage. So the point I'm trying to get across is that it's not an issue of Islam. We're not dealing with the rulings of Islam. We're dealing with culture, and we're dealing with people's personal wants and desires. If it was an issue of Islam, we wouldn't be in this situation. Understand? That's the point I'm trying to make. Everybody clear on that or not? Doesn't work like that. Islam is crystal clear. You can't do that. Right? We're not dealing with Islam. So you have to make cultural boundaries or personal boundaries that the people oftentimes will respect more than the Islamic rulings. Allah musta'an.
AS London, UK. A brother mentioned he has trouble with pornography and keeps going back to it. He says he prays Salat Tawbah every time after it is forgiven.
May Allah help the brother. He should seek therapy and counseling, Islamic therapy and Islamic counseling. And if it's needed for clinical therapy and clinical counseling, he should do that as well. For argument's sake, he goes back to that haram act. He makes tawbah. He goes back. He makes tawbah again. Keep making tawbah. Never stop making tawbah no matter what. Wallahu ta'ala alam.
ID ATLGA. Is a masjid built upon haram wealth blessed? Can you seek a loan from someone who earned their money through haram means?
As far as the masjid being based upon or built upon haram wealth, is it blessed? Then I think the answer to the question lies in the question. As far as seeking a loan from someone who has haram income, then it depends. It depends. That's their only source of income or only one of their sources of income. I own 3 houses, 2 apartment buildings. 2 of those houses are haram, the rest are legal. Once, years ago in Medina, an older brother, he came on Hajj. He was from Bangladesh. Very nice brother, mashallah. He was so happy to be on Hajj. He brought his teenage son with him. And he was smart enough, alhamdulillah, immediately he recognized and he understood the importance of knowledge. So I think I was in maybe my 2nd year of school at the time. He came up to me and he asked me a question. And he said, I own a big restaurant in Manhattan. I sell alcohol, unfortunately, and I also sell food, so on and so forth. He said, I came on this Hajj trip with all of the money just from the halal side of my restaurant. Is this okay? Is my Hajj valid? So on and so on and so forth. The moral of the story is, should he be selling alcohol? No. Selling alcohol, haram, no question about that. But at least he understood to keep his wealth separated. I'll worry about that. I'll fix that. But right now, I want to make sure that it's proper. So just because a person has haram income doesn't mean that's his only source of income. Right? I got a couple of blocks, a couple of houses, right? And I also got some legal stuff too. Right, don't worry. You understand? I promise that the money I'm giving you right now is not from none of those what? None of those cases. Inshallah. Right? So sometimes you have to keep things separated, right? That's the moral of the story. So if a person has wealth, you seek the money from them, it doesn't mean that that's all haram. Another scenario is it a necessity for you to ask for that loan? Do you have an alternative or not? Wallahu alam.
I bear the sad news that Imam Abdullah Kamal has passed away. He missed Tawheed after he led the Salat and went to sleep.
May Allah have mercy on him. Next question.
No.
Further.
So what if you're stuck between a rock and a hard place? You have a Muslim brother who has his money from haram ways, and then you have a bank that and the
Understood. Do which one of the 2 you feel is yani the lesser of the 2 harms, right? The trap, right, or the bank? In my opinion, the bank is a bigger gangster than the drug dealer, for sure. There's no doubt about that. Wallahu alam.
Yes,
Down the plug, huh? This is my plug. Don't speak English. Huh? If you ain't speaking Spanish, then what?
don't come with it.
Further.
AS London, UK. Do you have any advice on low self-esteem as a Muslim?
Low self-esteem as a Muslim. That's a type of sickness and illness, possibly mental illness, severe lack of self-esteem, always looking down upon yourself. You know, that's an imbalance. So you have to fix that, bi'idhnillahi ta'ala. And from the ways that you can fix that, getting or growing, enhancing your self-esteem is to realize is that self-esteem, confidence, lack of confidence is like salt in food. Too little, the food will be bland. Too much, the food will be too salty. So you can't go but so high up. Some people have such poor self-esteem, they start lifting weights, taking steroids, or seeking knowledge, or dressing, wearing name brands, and they go too far. So there has to be a level in which I feel good, I feel comfortable without going extreme. A woman has poor self-esteem, right? About her looks and her appearance. And then she takes all of her clothes off. Wears skin-tight clothes. Just throws herself at the feet of men. She went what? Too far. Right? Too far. Well, heck of that, okay? So you have to realize that there's a balance. Right now, yours is way too low. Bring it up, but don't bring it up too high. So look at why you have low self-esteem. What is it? Your appearance, how you talk, how you walk, what is it? What do you feel that you're lacking in? I need to work on those points, inshallah ta'ala. Step by step, piece by piece, but with the proper balance. And Allah surely knows best.
Hamza from Tampa, Florida.
Next question.
HS Dubai UAE. What is your favorite ayah?
That's a difficult question. Ayatul Kursi.
SS Orlando, Florida. Assalamu alaikum. What's the ruling on if a non-mahram touches me by accident, handing me something at work, bumping into me, etc.? Does it still break my wudu?
No sin, inshallah. And the wudu won't be broken, bi'idhnillah.
YO from GTA, Canada. Assalamu alaikum. When I prayed Maghrib, I assumed I was going to pray 4 rak'at. Then I remembered I need to pray 3 rak'at. Is my prayer valid? Barakallahu feekum.
How many rak'at did he make?
A 4 rak'at, then he remembered he needed to
You're
pray
making
3.
sajda sahu, unless a very long period of time has passed by, which in most cases it already has. Make the maghrib up again, inshallah ta'ala. Wallahu alam.
ITA, London, UK. Should you marry as a brother that started practicing sincere Islam, marry a sister who struggles with the way she dresses, like wearing pants sometimes, but she wears hijab and prayers?
Marrying someone who struggles with an issue or a problem, inwardly or outwardly, sit down and talk with them. Make it clear that you expect your wife to wear hijab, not a kimar, but an overgarment, abaya, whatever cultural name it has. A full length dress that's loose and flowing and not tight, so on and so forth, and not pants. Explain that to her. This is what I expect from my wife. Do you agree with that? Are you on board? She says yes. You explain to her again, a second, third time, so on and so forth. Bismillah. She slips, she makes a mistake, she's working on it. At least she's there with you in theory. Versus she wears a full hijab, but she doesn't believe that she has to dress like that every day. That's different. Or she doesn't agree. Or you never explain to her your expectations. Secondly, and the best thing and the safest thing to do is that if something is simple and basic to you and your potential wife or husband is struggling with that thing, don't even bother yourself. It's a good brother, good sister. I wish the best for you. May Allah bless you. But right now, me doing 25 miles per hour is basic speed that I don't go under. And you're struggling to keep your car on. Stopping, and I can't. We can't drive together. Period. That's a basic. I don't go underneath 25. Your car is, we can't, Yeah, don't even deal with it. As far as the extra things, that's a different story. But something that's basic to you that she's struggling with, oftentimes it doesn't work out. And Allah surely knows best.
IT London, UK. How can I ask a sister I'm serious about marrying to see her as she dresses at home during the meeting phase?
Allahu Akbar. So you want to see what the sister looks like, huh? I was listening to a lecture the other day. The brother was saying all types of stuff. Some of it was haq and a lot of it was batil concerning what you can and cannot see from a sister. Al-Muhim is, once again, common sense. You expect to marry someone, you want to live with someone, you have to see something, right? Some way, somehow, some level. Unless you have that much faith, in which I don't know what you look like, I'll marry you strictly for your character, strictly for your deen. That's a different story. But like most people in the real world, he wants to see something, her face, hands, something. Maybe more, maybe less. So tell her that. You know, do you mind such and such? Can I see a picture of such and such? Can I see what you look like, such and such? If you ask respectfully, she's either going to say yes or no. Or as the negotiations or the courting is going on and she likes you a little bit, you like her, things going well, in most cases she'll say, would you like to see what I look like? وهكذا. And of course, there are other details with regards to what you can and cannot see. Inshallah, this will be our last question here. Now, coming up.
As Palembang, Indonesia, can I finish Fatiha without saying Ameen and then directly takbir to ruku'?
When you recite the Fatiha, say Ameen. No doubt about that. There's no reason why you shouldn't say it. Whether you say it silently or whether you say it aloud, but there's no reason why it should be ignored. Wallahu ta'ala alam. Stop here tonight. Jazakumullah khairan, everyone, for watching, tuning in. Walhamdulillahi rabbil alameen.